Ahoy hoy and welcome to the AI Box podcast. I'm Chazzy and with me, as always, is the lovely Mr. Dan Clark. How you doing, Dan?
Hello. I'm all right, and you?
All good, man. All good. Back from Dorka Patusa.
Yeah. So we had a good weekend up there.
Yeah, that was wicked.
Except we promised you guys something a bit special. But there were a couple of things that sort of stood in our way, weren't there?
Yes, we failed to deliver.
Yeah,
so we are cobbling.
Yeah, apologies for that. And as we said, we're going to try and sort of cobble something together out of what we did get. But the venue for a meet-up of geeks who were all into podcasting, and there's meant to be a live podcast and all this, there was no internet access at the venue.
Exactly, yeah. No internet access and no screens. So that was,
well, there were screens, but we weren't allowed to use them on day two, were we?
Yeah, so that sort of hampers a video game and board game meet up. You know, having no screens to play any video games on.
But luckily, Chris and Zib pulled it out of the bag with their collection of board games.
Yeah, man, totally.
And our listener, Margin Willie.
Yeah, Will. He pulled it right out of the bag. What a superb guy. He went home, got his own TV and Xbox, brought it down on the Sunday so we could all play games. It was amazing. It was like a heroic effort. So well done, Will, man. That was
In fact, he did it in 2 trips because he got there and then had to go back and get the telly, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That was just mental. Yeah.
Yeah, so well done for going the extra mile on that.
Yeah, man. Saved the day.
Yeah, definitely. So we had an awesome little session on the 360 on the Sunday afternoon, a bit of a tournament.
Yeah, a bit of a trials tournament apparently went off.
Yeah, and then there was a tournament. Were you there when you had to sort of pick a game to play against someone else?
Yeah,
it might have been just after you'd gone. Yeah, that was. I don't think Furiace, knew about my sort of dislike for third-person shooters because he chose Gears of War for like me and him, and I was like, not being funny, man, but like that's the one thing I'm not going to be playing someone at. So he kicked my ass at split-second velocity instead.
Oh, fantastic! Always good.
Yeah. So the board games were a bit of a hit by all accounts, weren't they?
They were rife both days. Like everyone was banging to the board games, and even people who'd never played them before were getting right into them. There's a lot of buzz for it.
Well, I think Zib and Chris O'Regan's enthusiasm for the whole board game scene is so infectious. Do you know what I mean? It just sort of carried round the room.
Yeah, totally, man, totally. Did you see that Chris O'Regan when he was just there at the table and he had like sort of just a crowd of people in front of him and he was just there teaching everyone how to play. I can't remember what it was now. It was what was that? Lords of the Waterdeep, was it?
Yeah, Lords of the Waterdeep.
Yeah, it was amazing just to watch him like kind of like fully DMing and like, you know, telling people what to do and where to go and how to stand and stuff like that. It was amazing. Yeah. All these people like fresh-eyed like noobs like looking at him like, oh. So yeah, that was wicked, honestly, brilliant. Like I've never played so many board games in my life. You know?
Yeah, it's like Christmas 1984.
Yeah, it was totally. So, what did you end up playing then, man?
Well, I had a go of Elder Sign, which is an offshoot of Arkham Horror.
Okay.
Sort of based in the same universe, but it's more a card game than a board game.
Yeah.
I think it's like a sort of hybrid of the two. But I didn't have a clue what was going on, really. I just rolled a dice and things happened.
To me, when I was watching you play it, it looked like kind of a weird, like, Yahtzee, where you were like, to kill a monster, you were having to get these, like, different symbols come up. So you were throwing down 6 dice, and every time you either got one or didn't get one, you'd have to take a dice away, and it was all very, odd. But,
yeah, it's a bit like a sort of a Yahtzee set in the Cthulhu universe, isn't it?
Yeah, totally, man, totally. Yeah, it looks really weird.
Yeah, it was. So, but after that, there's a game that I've been looking forward to playing for ages called Dixit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, it's a French game, so I think it should be pronounced Dizzy.
Right, but
which I think is a little sort of French joke. But that's a really interesting game. It's more about the banter around the table than the actual game itself, it seems.
All right, so there was like not a board as such.
No, I don't know if it's going to be too long-winded to explain, but it's the basics are it's kind of a bit of a storytelling game,
right?
And then a bit of a sort of call my bluff kind of. Like you're trying to sort of bluff the other players.
You're sort of trying to describe concepts and
well, how it works is the player leading picks a card from their hand, and then they have to come up with a description of it. Now you could tell a 20-minute story, you could sing a song, you could just come up with like a pithy like 3-word quote, or something to describe that card, and then everyone else has to pick a card from their hand that they think matches it,
Right.
and then votes on which one they think the original person's card was.
And then you get points for the votes, yeah?
Yeah. You move around the board. Like if you manage to bluff someone else out, you get to move around the board.
Oh, okay. So there is a board then, yeah. Because when I walked past you playing it, I was like, couldn't get my head around it.
Yeah, it's they're all a bit baffling if you just walk in halfway, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I seem to do for most of the day. Sort of, I just walk in and then someone would be playing some random board game, and I'd come in halfway through and I go, I don't understand this, and then I walk to the next table and it'd be like, I don't understand this either. I'm stupid.
They are pretty baffling, aren't they? But
yeah, man.
But there was one that was simple as anything that I think took it's my game of the weekend, I reckon. Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, that was the big one of the weekend that everyone sort of was raving about. Yeah, that's because I brought this up a few shows ago.
Yeah,
so I'm really chuffed that everyone got right into it.
Yeah, because they've been playing it on is it the Giant Bombcast where they've been playing it quite a lot?
Yeah, on their TNT. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just nice to sort of actually get my hands on it and see what it's all about. See, the first time I played it was with Darth Cuddle's homemade set.
Right, okay.
Like he's printed it off and keeps it in a little Tupperware lunchbox thing, and he pulled it out in this in like
the cards, not it.
City. Yeah, yeah. He didn't, well, he pulled out his lunchbox to a degree, but not like Linford Christie style.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, so we're in this city centre Wetherspoons in Glasgow, like really rowdy pub,
right?
And then we start playing a card game. I was like, are they going to like kick the crap out of us or something? But especially as we're like shouting these like rude phrases at each other.
Yeah, you didn't get any like crazy Glaswegians like coming up to you like, you know, just about to chin you.
No, no one batted an eyelid. So it must be like
okay.
a normal thing, like Cards Against Humanity in the pub. Yeah, so I kind of didn't realise that the full version was going to be like on proper printed cards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I know I should have done. It's like quite obvious, but it was just nice to play both versions of the game over the weekend.
Yeah, it looks really nice in that kind of black and white and really glossy and stuff. You know, it looks wicked.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
it's really simple.
It is the most offensive game known to man, though.
Oh, incredibly offensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In a good way, though. It brings people together, I think is a...
Yeah, nice it brings people together through the medium of just their dark, dark minds.
Yeah, and there was one guy managed to pick, like, I've met this guy, do you know Kanasai?
Yeah.
Or he's now called Fuck Buttons on Twitter. We might have to bleep that, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Am I allowed that?
No,
what's his name?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd played him at Disc Driving about a year ago, 9 months ago, a few times. And I put down a card in this hand of Cards Against Humanity, and he's like, I bet that's Dan's card. And it's like, yeah, it was. And he's like, yeah, I know your humour from Disc Driving.
He's Welsh, yeah?
Oh man, you harsh man. I thought that was a pretty good Kanasai impression. Although he's probably going to hate me for it.
Yes, mate.
But yeah, I just thought it was amazing that you can sort of bond with people so well that he could guess that.
Yeah, totally. You can tell people's different thought processes from the cards they put down. Totally.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own little style when they play it. You know, definitely. Yeah. Because some people will go extremely dark, and then other people will sort of back it off a little bit. You know.
Yeah, or try and go for the surreal one, thinking, well, they know everyone else is going to go for the dark answer.
Yeah.
From that question, and then throw out a completely left field.
Yeah. Throwing a curveball.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Also, I've got. I'm going to have a little present for people that were at Dorka Patusa. It's going to be a little limited edition Nerdcore album. It's all sort of freely available, so I'm not like breaking any rules or anything. Nice. But I've loads of songs that I've got have got references to Cards Against Humanity. I don't know whether that's planned or just complete random coincidence.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, I've found there's going to be about a dozen songs on there with well over a dozen references. Like each one's got like one or two.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to put that together with a little album art, like CD cover thing, and send that out to the people that were at Dorka Patusa. So look out for that sometime in the week. It's called Nerds Against Humanity. And yeah, so just a free album for the lucky Dorka Patusa goers.
Oh, superb. Good work, man. Didn't know you were doing that. That sounds wicked. So that's what.
Yeah, it's just a little bonus.
Yeah. that's quality. I didn't even realise there'd be any song. So what do you mean by references to Cards Against Humanity? Like literally, like the stuff on the cards.
Yeah, like
stuff.
well, a lot of them are sort of like based on internet memes anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that it's more that the songs are referencing the meme,
Right, gotcha.
as is the card game. But yeah, I was just amazed by how many. When I got back to the hotel and started listening to a few tunes, it was like, yep, there's one, yep, there's one, there's one, there's another reference, there's another one, there's another one. Yeah. So,
but yeah, no, being up there was superb, and just to meet so many like-minded nerds and kind of just to sit down and have a chat and a good giggle and a few beers. It was really good fun, and I got so freaked out when we got asked for like people, like when people came up to us and said, "Oh, we listened to the AI Bots. You're Jazzy." It's like, yeah, it was brilliant, honestly.
Yeah, it was a bit odd in a nice way. It was a really good time.
Yeah, exactly. And then when we had to do our photo opportunity, that was even worse.
Yeah, that's scary.
That was weird. But yeah,
I don't like photos at the best of times.
No, man. So that was properly freaky. But no, it was so nice to meet everyone up there. It was just brilliant. So can't wait to go to like anything else and like say hello to people because it's been brilliant. And then having everyone like getting together on Twitter and having a chat and stuff. It's been superb since we've been back. Been well chuffed
and
with
it's
it.
also nice to just sort of put faces and voices to
the
little Twitter names that you see that you kind of don't register as actual people half the time.
No, exactly. Yeah, they're just sort of thoughts out in the ether, and now they have an actual physical, manifestation. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So that was a good experience, all in all, being up in Glasgow.
Definitely.
But then we had to come back to the real world.
Yeah, down with a bump.
Yeah, exactly. Down with a bump. So what have you been playing then, man? Games-wise, video games-wise.
This week I've gone back to a Super Nintendo RPG, Chrono Trigger or Chrono Trigger.
You've gone old school.
I have gone old school. It's one of those games that I've been meaning to go back and complete for about 12 years.
Oh,
I first bought it, an unboxed cartridge in, CEX, the original one in London.
Yes.
They had a massive box of unboxed SNES cartridges. I looked through and I saw Chrono Trigger, and I think it was about 30 quid, which for an unboxed cartridge in the year 2000 was quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I knew it was this sort of classic game, and it had inspired all sorts of like game designers, like in loads of ways.
Yeah.
So I picked it up and really loved it at the time. Got 35 hours in to my playthrough, but then some guy in the local game station offered me 95 quid for the cartridge.
Oh, right, nice.
So it was like I couldn't really say no to that. Do you know what I mean? Like
tripling
my money.
Yeah, tripling your money. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, except then you sort of look and think, oh, I've got to do this 35 hours of the game again.
yeah, then your heart sinks. You think, oh, brilliant, loads of money. Yeah. Oh, no, I've got to play it again.
Yeah, so, I've tried going back a few times, but this time I'm going to make a concerted effort and actually do it. Although there's about 20-odd endings, so...
Oh, blimey.
So it could take a while.
You're not like me then, where you just go, right, I'm doing one ending, and that's it, because there is no way I'm going through 30 different endings.
Yeah, I'm a bit of an OCD gamer about it.
I know you did that with Nier, so like I know you're going to kind of sit there battering away at all these different endings.
Well, the thing is, you've played the game, right?
Yeah. I've played up to like the first sort of half, first quarter.
Like, you know that opening scene at the sort of Village Fate?
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of gameplay just in that section for an OCD gamer is unbelievable.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like, if you do one thing that's different out of, it all just spirals off in different directions.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get into trouble for spoiling this because it's a 17-year-old game.
A pretty old game.
So there's this one point where you get taken into court. You're charged with kidnapping the princess. Right. But what it does is it ties up all of the stuff you've done in the game up until that point.
Okay.
Like any decisions you've made, even though at the time you might not have known that they were sort of a bad decision to do in the game. Right. It gets used against you in court. Like, there's an example. There's some food on a table at the Fate. Right. And if you eat it, the old boy whose lunch it was comes into the court and starts like raging at the judge saying, Oi, you can't trust this man. He must have kidnapped the princess because he stole my lunch.
Right. So they've been laying traps for you all the way through the Fate sort of thing.
Yeah. All these little things that you think, oh, that's a nice little sort of diversion. It turns out it wasn't just a gameplay diversion at the time. It was all leading up to this
one court scene.
Like, Yeah,
Nice.
which at the time in 1995, that must have been mind blowing if you'd played it sort of out of the
Yeah,
box,
totally.
brand new. Like, just such a clever design idea, and I think it's probably gone on to sort of influence things like your Mass Effects and stuff like that, with the sort of decision making and the
consequence for your actions, sort of.
yeah. And other than that, it's just a really nice RPG with great music, and it's right up my street. So yeah, I'm loving that at the
Right up
moment.
your old school street.
Yeah. What you been playing, man?
I've been playing through on your recommendation, actually, mate. Well, not recommendation. You sort of tried to you talked me into it. Was playing Azura's Wrath.
Yeah.
Right, because you said to me, "Oh, you don't like all these kind of was it quick time event games?" So
Yeah.
Azura's Wrath apparently is like the biggest quick time event ever. Game full of them. So go on, try that. So, okay, right, go on. Let's try and plow my way through this. Wasn't really expecting much. Was really expecting to kind of like be like, oh god, like coming on here and ranting about it, going, oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But like put it in, and then from pretty much the start of it, I've just been like, what the fuck is this game? This game is mental. And I hesitate really to use the word game because it's not really much of a game. It's more like sort of an experience, which I know sounds really kind of wanky, but it really is. The best way I can describe it is like one of those kind of rides you get at Disney or Universal where it's like you sit in a pod and then, say like it's the Star Wars ride and you sit in there and C-3PO comes on the screen and goes, oh my, we're being attacked. Oh, look, let's get out of here in a shuttle. It's like one of those things where you're sat there and you're taken through this amazing like shuttle ride experience video while you're like moving about and and then eventually they give you like a little gun to shoot at the screen to make you feel like you're involved.
Like stuff happens at
yeah, exactly. Stuff happens at you rather than you really having any effect. And that's kind of what Azura's Wrath's like. You sit there and you've got it's just like you sit there and you watch a 20-minute cutscene and then suddenly it throws you into a bit of action, and that might be like a bit of a Bayonetta arena fight, or it might be a series of quick time events where you're having to hit random buttons and you open your arms up really wide to scream at someone, so you push both sticks both sticks outwards and stuff like that. It's just bonkers. Like, it's just absolutely bonkers. The actual story and the cutscenes are brilliant. Like, there's so much tension and gets you on the edge of your seat, and you really want to see what the next thing is. But there's like when it throws you into the game, it's just a series of hit everything until it dies to build up your meter so that burst appears. And then you trigger burst, and that now kicks in the next 10-minute cutscene.
Yeah, it seems to. I've only played the demo, but yeah, that burst button just seems to do
everything.
Random stuff. It's like you do everything button.
Yeah, totally. It's just you're doing everything to then get burst to appear, so then it just progresses you onto the next section. But then when you progress on, you want to get to burst because you want to see what the next section is because it's so utterly bonkers that I don't want to spoil it, but like there's that bit in, I think it's from the demo, where you're fighting one of these gods, and then all of a sudden he just grows and then grows and then grows and then grows and then gets to the point where he's the size of the planet, like bigger than the planet you're on, and his finger is going to come down to squash you like a pimple. And you're just thinking, what the hell is going on? And then you stop, you do a quick time event to stop his hand from squashing you. And it's just like, this is utterly insane. But yeah, I mean, it just keeps it just keeps you interested all the way through, even though the gameplay bits don't.
It looks amazing though, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Like I said, the presentation is absolutely fantastic. Like, it's just an audio-visual kind of feast. It really is. It kind of it assaults you, your every sense. Kind of like it doesn't give you. The best way I can describe it is very much like Call of Duty is, where where you play a Call of Duty game and everything's turned up to 11, and it's just go, adrenaline rush, yeah, we're gonna do this, woo, yeah. It's just like that all the way through the game permanently. And it doesn't give you any time to rest. It doesn't give you any time to stop. I mean, and what's nice about it, though, is that, having said that, what it does do is it breaks everything down into episodes, like a good half an hour episode. So each level is one, contained episode. And what I found was I started playing that on the first night. I got through about 3 or 4 episodes, and then realised, like, this isn't the way to play it. It's not. You're not supposed to sit down, play through all the levels, and kind of, just crash the game out. You're supposed to play one level, play one episode, as it were, and then
as if you're watching a season of a TV
box
show.
Set of anime. It's the best way I can describe it. It is like a box set of anime that you interact with. It's kind of like you sit down and you do your one episode on one night, and you get your big adrenaline rush out of that, and then once you get to the end,
put it away.
You literally get credits at the end of every level. The Capcom logo comes up at the end of every level. So it's done as separate little games all the way through, like separate little episodes. So it's just utterly, like, insane. You think of, we're going to play through this level and then this level and this level, but at the end of each one, you're getting credits. It's totally, but yeah, like I said, it's absolutely. I love it for the story, and I love it for the presentation, and I love it for the overall experience of the game. Right, but for the actual gameplay bits, so repetitive, and like the sheer amount of QuickTime events that are just utterly pointless. Like,
are they kind of shoehorned in?
Well, not shoehorned in, but just they are you're stopping something from crushing you, so tap on the button. And it's like, oh, God, for fuck's sake. It's the only game I've ever played where I don't want to play the game. I just want to get to the next cutscene. It's mental.
See, in the demo, there were about 3 or 4 different gameplay styles in the demo.
Yeah.
But is that pretty much the whole game? Do they get repeated over and over?
They are the 3 or 4 different gameplay chunks, basically, that you have in the game.
Yeah.
And they're just rinse and repeat in different ways with different incredible bosses, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, like I said, I was trying to find a good way of describing whether I liked it or whether I didn't like it. And the best way I can describe it is if you've got like a bar, right, like an XP bar, and the bar's at 50%, which means you neither love it nor you hate it, and that's where you start. Yep. And when I started the game, it rocketed up to like 100%. Brilliant, absolutely love this game. It's completely mental bonkers. Like, lets you play the game, like, gets you involved, but just enough. And, like, it's just, what an experience. But then as you slowly play through the game, and then you realise you're not really doing that much, and you're not really involved all that much to kind of progress the story. You're just kind of a passenger. That bar slowly came back down to 50% again, of like, I'm not nonplussed. So it's really difficult. Like, I'm literally not fussed either way by the game. I think it's brilliant, but I also think it's really crap as well. So it's the most polarizing game for me. No, the most polarizing game for me ever.
Wow.
Yeah, but like, I'm so glad I played it, because you won't have another experience like it.
Yeah, I'm still really tempted to like play the whole thing.
I'll be really interested to see what you think.
But I've seen so many people say, "Oh, you might as well just watch a playthrough on YouTube for the amount of gameplay you get."
There is some, if you really wanted to be snarky, you could say that. But I think having it in your machine and playing it in your front room, and not, on your laptop, and like the bits of gameplay that you do get in it do give you, just keep the adrenaline rush going. I think watching it on a YouTube would be sort of a disservice to the game, because there is, I think it's playing with your senses to a degree.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like I said, it's utterly baffled me, but like, I'm so glad I played through it, because like I said, I won't ever play another game like it.
Sounds a bit like the really old sort of like interactive CD-ROM type games.
Yeah, in a funny way, maybe even a bit like Dragon's Lair, where you're watching the video but then having an input into it. Every now and then.
Albeit very minimal.
Yeah, it's very much like that, I think. very much like that. But yeah, no, like I said, brilliant, like bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And then the only other thing is like obviously that I wanted to get to was like The Walking Dead, because I've played through the full game of that now. You know, because we discussed the trial a while back, and it's just started getting into that. But I know you picked it up.
Yeah, I got it on Thursday, and I finished it just before we started recording. Actually,
yeah, man. So you've got it fresh in your mind, so you can give me a few kind of like pointers and stuff on it, because I played it a couple of weeks ago, and just I was blown away by it. Absolutely loved it.
I'm interested to play it again as well, just to see.
Yeah, I'll be interested
how differently it can play out.
Should we get a bit of spoilery on this?
Yeah, I think that's allowed.
Let's do it. So if you don't want to know, or if you haven't picked it up, like spin us on for 5-10 minutes, and but we're going to go into spoiler territory. But
someone's going to spin it on, and then like they'll come back into it right at the sort of spoiler bit, and then the butler,
and then they all died. Hopefully not. Right, so I'm really interested to see your choices on this. So
yep.
So we're playing through it, and like you get the bit in the car, which I thought was amazing. Really set.
The opening with the policeman.
Yeah, the opening with the policeman. I thought that was really, really well done. Really kind of set the tone really well.
I thought, I got slightly distracted by the fact that the policeman reminded me of the old pedo from Family Guy. So that kind of took me away from the tension of the scene a bit.
You were waiting for him to offer you some sweets, were you?
Yeah. Let me go in the front of the car instead. Yeah. But he looks like him and he sounded a bit like him. So, yeah, the tension on that bit was lost. But yeah, it is really well done. The sort of like looking around.
Did you get freaked out by the hitting the zombie?
No. I felt it was kind of signposted a bit.
Right, okay.
That something was going to happen.
Gotcha.
Maybe I was kind of like looking too intently into it. But
did you manage to get off a button press to shout something?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, oh bloody hell! Oh no, missed it completely. But but no, really like. So I won't go into too much. But like the bit that when you go through and you meet the girl like you do in the trial that we've already discussed.
Yep.
And then you get to that farm, don't you? What did you?
Yep.
What did you? Did you still try and play out that you were a neighbour, or
Yeah, I played out the neighbour role.
Okay, so did the guy in the farm smell a rat? And
yeah, the owner of the farm, the old boy. Yeah, he doubted me when I answered. I can't remember what question he asked, but he definitely doubted my answer. But I couldn't see why he had.
Right. Okay, so he didn't sort of say to you, I think he said to me like, because I was honest, and I was like, I'm just some bloke, and then I was honest with him as well, and he was like, yeah, you want to be honest because people around here respect honesty, and gave me a bit of a spiel about being honest.
Oh yeah, I got that bit, but this is on the porch.
Yeah.
Sort of the night before
gotcha. Yeah.
When you've just arrived, and I picked something that I thought was quite sort of non-committal.
Right, gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? I thought, well, I don't want to say the outright lie, and I don't actually know what the story behind it is, so I'm going to go with the one that sounds sort of like your middle of the road answer. Yeah. And then it pops up in the corner. He senses doubt.
Oh right, okay.
So yeah, I don't know. Don't know how I got that wrong.
Did that put you on edge? Like thinking, oh, no one trusts me now, or there's someone who doesn't trust me, or did you just think, oh, whatever?
It kind of did with that farmer. So I'm gonna, like I say, I'm interested to play it again to see if what I read into his actions from that point onwards were just inside my head, or if they are actually part of the game. Does that make sense?
So let's get to the biggie then. Did you save Duck?
I didn't. No, I saved just because the cursor was already hovering over the.
I've forgotten the guy's name.
The farmer's son. Not Chet. That's the other one. But
Steve, I think it was. Yes. So the guy,
but whoever he was,
the guy trapped under the tractor.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I went to save him.
Oh, right. So I didn't. I saved Duck. So this could be interesting.
Well, Duck survives either way.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, because that was the thing I was worried about. I was like, well, fuck it, I'm saving the kid. Women and children first and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm assuming you get the dad. Like I got you save Duck, and then the guy runs over and grabs his kid, and then whatever his face gets eaten by the zombies, and then the old boy runs over and starts like ranting off at you, and then throws you off the farm.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, the same thing happened.
So it is pretty much then. I'm guessing that it was like we suspected it from the demo, that there are certain beats that it has to hit, and everything sort of funnels down into one answer at the end.
Yeah, like there's a bit of smoke and mirrors involved,
Yeah,
isn't there?
totally.
I think in the
Totally.
yeah, but still very well done.
Yeah. That was the thing I was most worried about. It's like that it was going to be like that, where it filters you down to one ending, because it's a shame. But it's the only way I could see they were going to really do it and pull it off properly.
Especially with an episodic game, because when you're releasing the next one,
yeah,
obviously you need everyone to be at a certain point, really, don't you?
So so let's not get too spoilery then and go into the ending and stuff. But
yep.
So you got to the end, and then you got your kind of generated end of what's coming up next week.
Yep.
So what did you feel about the kind of the whole atmosphere in general?
It's very tense, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
I think that's probably the word
I wasn't expecting it.
Highlight
I wasn't
most,
expecting it to throw up as many difficult moments of decision making, like when you've got Lee's brother out in the front, out in the front of the pharmacy and stuff. Like just don't know what. I didn't know what to do, but you've got to make a decision because that little timer's running down.
Yeah, and with that one, I figured that there wasn't really a difference with any of them, was there? They were like three versions of saying the same thing.
Yeah,
so
totally. But yeah, it really, really, really affected me. It's like, I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to have this guy kill his own brother because he's a zombie. But like, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. It's so tense, man. Like,
I like that when you finished it, it tells you the percentage of people that picked the same choices as you.
That was very nice. That was very nice. Like seeing like kind of when I did it, most of my choices were over 50%, so it made me feel good. It made me feel like I didn't pick the wrong choice.
I had 4 choices where it was hovering around 50, like between sort of 45 and 55. And then one that was 23%.
So you went right against everyone.
Yeah, and that was the main big choice, which I guess we're not going to actually spoil what that is. No. But I chose the one that obviously not everyone does.
Oh, right, really? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back. Well, I figured I'm going to play through it in all permutations anyway, so I just went for, the one that was nearest where the cursor was.
So it's going to be,
and then I'll go back and do the other one next time.
Seeing how that all plays out into the next month's, next month's game.
I'm guessing it'll pick. That's a good point. Because if I play through it again, it seems to sort of save it over the same file.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm wondering which one will end up being my actual decisions. I'm guessing it's the first ones you made.
But how did you find like the controls and the kind of, like moving with one stick and picking stuff out with the other stick and doing the action sequences and stuff? How did you find the action sequences?
I think it's the best control scheme that they could have come up with for what they're trying to do, but it did feel a bit clunky.
Right.
I don't know if that's just me, but just the sort of jerkiness of the movements sometimes. And
is that an animation thing, or is that just it just didn't feel?
Yeah, no, not just the animation, just the feel of it. I don't know. It's got that very like the old school survival horror games. Everyone talks about. I know it's not tank controls, but it's kind of got that.
It's a bit of a Resident Evil
stilted feel.
About it. Kind of empty and desperate.
And Telltale Games, please can you let me invert the right stick for up and down on the next episode? Like, it's been like what? We've had inverted aim for about 20 years in games now. So, yeah, please, please, please can you do that, Telltale?
So what were you doing? You were going to kick a zombie or whatever, and then all of a sudden the cursor would zip off in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I'd try and aim at his face, but I'd actually like... He then going down to his knees.
I was say that must be really adding like an air of tension. Like, oh my god, even the controls are against me.
Well, I kind of got used to it because it's not like it's a camera control, is it? So I can see why they've not given the invert.
Yeah.
But then sometimes when it does shift into like where you're aiming or it's from the character's direct viewpoint, then that's when it threw me off. So.
Right. Cool. So yeah,
did you find it played well yourself?
I did. I really, like I said, I played it through all in one sitting, and in the dark on like late on a Saturday, like all in the quiet with me, with my surround sound headphones on. so I had the full kind of immersion. And I found it really tense, like really difficult. Like I said, really difficult to make decisions on the fly.
Yeah.
And kind of, just like sort of agonising over my decisions after the event, like once I went into the next scene and stuff. And it really affected me, quite a lot, But
especially as there's no save option, so it's not like you can do the old PC fallback of like quick save, make the decision if it's the wrong one.
Yeah, didn't like that. Go back, but but no, it's
not that kind of game, is it? It's
But I like the fact that it's not like that. I've got to live with my consequences. That's what I've been sort of. It's my thing at the moment, and I just love it. Absolutely love it. Love the story. Love the fact like it's thrown in quite a few grey area decisions. Thrown in a few kind of, like you say, curveballs, like with that lady who's trapped in the motel.
Yeah.
Having to make that decision of, do we kill her? Do we not kill her? Do we let her kill herself? If I give her a gun, is she going to turn it on me? What am I going to do? But you've only got that short amount of time for the bar to have all those different thoughts go through your mind all at once.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does it give you a longer length bar? Like, does it go down quicker for some decisions?
I would imagine it's timed to different events.
Yeah, because I didn't know if it was just me thinking, it's making me more panicky, so I'm thinking it's going quicker. But it probably does just go quicker.
Make you panic a bit more as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
But there was a weird bit at the end where, the stroppy bird whose dad's like having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Suddenly like trying to make me like some form of love interest with her, and all through the game I'd been quite snotty and offish with her. But then like it's like going, are you interested in my daughter? Are you like, trying to chat her up? And I was like, have I ever intimated that in any way, shape or form? Because I've just basically gone, fuck's sake, love, stop being so grumpy, and your dad's being a dick. Like, where's this come from? That's weird. So that's obviously some kind of, story beat that they've obviously been playing on a bit that you're supposed to hit at some point that I never hit. But
I guess maybe if you'd read the comic books, you'd kind of know how it's supposed to.
Well, I don't think any of these, other than Glenn, I don't think any of the guys are in the comic books. I think it's.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. The little Chinese guy, like who goes off at the end to go to Atlanta. He's actually saves Rick from the zombies in the first book, or like first couple of books. So. Yeah. So no, like I said, really, really, really can't wait. Like especially after that trailer for the next episode. Like that's really thrown up a lot of questions that I want answered. So can't wait to pick.
Also, I know it's only sort of cinematics, but it looks like it's going to sort of broaden the experience, doesn't it?
Totally. It's going to be less
from what it shows.
Yeah, less small environments and kind of moving into a bit of a bigger area, hopefully. So yeah, like I said, really can't wait for that. It's just it can't come quick enough as far as I'm concerned.
You've bought the whole season pass, haven't you?
The whole season pass on the PS3. So.
Yeah.
I had a bit of problems with that as well, because what I didn't realise is that you have to, if you buy the season pass, you're only buying the pass for £15, and to get the actual content to unlock, you have to download the trial. So it's just a really weird way of delivering it. Like you would have thought, if you click on the season pass, it downloads everything that you need for the game, and then it just unlocks and plays it. But you don't. I had to unlock the pass, but then I had to download the trial as well to get both bits to sync up to work. And it's not explained anywhere, and it's not. It works on the assumption that you're going to try the trial, like the trial, download it, play it, and then go and get the season pass. Rather than I heard about this game, it's brilliant. I'm just going to buy the season pass straight off. So I spent a good half a night, like sort of trying to get this bloody thing, like, cause it kept I'd download it, click on the season pass, nothing had happened. All right, it must be corrupted. Go back, download the season pass, click on it, nothing happened. And then ended up looking it up on asking people on Twitter, and no one had an idea. And then like going online and saying, you got to download the trials. Oh, fuck's sake! It's like the most confusing thing ever. Stupid. I was really raging by the time I started the game, and I had to kind of go, right, now give this game a chance. Right, it's not its fault that Sony have like fucked up on the delivery method, but I wonder how many people that's put off.
Yeah. I haven't seen anyone else sort of mention
Yeah, I
it, but
know.
if you found the answer to it, I guess it must have affected quite a few people.
Tony Atkins said to me on Twitter that he'd had the same thing, and it was a really weird way of doing it. But yeah, I don't think too many people have like not played the trial first, so it was just obviously like a bit of an anomaly, really. So yeah, a bit weird, but there you go.
So here's a question for you.
Mate.
It's set to be 5 episodes long, right? Now, with the sort of love that it seems to have garnered so far with episode 1, do you think 5 will be enough? Do you think there'll be like a sort of season 2 of the series?
Well, yeah, if it does well, I don't see why they wouldn't do a season 2. But yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they've done it with Sam and Max. You know, I mean, they've got history for it.
And for such a dirt cheap game, it seems like the production values for something of that cost is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Isn't it,
Oh, yeah. It'll be if the first season does well, it'll be a license to print money. Because I personally think it's better than the TV series. You know, for the atmosphere and the dialogue and the kind of acting. I think that technically it's a bit, like you say, it's a bit clunky and a bit janky and a bit kind of, but that can get polished. And it is a downloadable title, so you can kind of semi-look past that if you need to. But yeah, I think for atmosphere, tension, action, dialogue, it beats the TV show hands down for me, personally.
And for less than the price of renting a DVD as well.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's probably the same amount of episodes. Probably a few less, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh no, I meant for the first, for this first episode, it's like what, £3, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You
just can't go wrong, can you?
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So can't wait to see the next one.
Push a lot of real boxed retail releases to shame as well.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, very much so. You look at a few like £30 games and you think, you're getting blown out of the water by like a £3 downloadable title. So yeah, it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
That's the way it's going, though,
mate. But so that's about it for me. What about you?
Yeah, that's it for me, really. Walking Dead and Chrono Trigger and Cards Against Humanity.
All right, then.
Love that.
Should we get to breaks?
Yeah, let's do that.
Mate. Break.
Okay.
Is your family fed up of the same old games?
Oh, Mum, do we have to play Strip Hungry Hungry Hippos again?
Bored of Electronic Battleship?
A7.
You sunk my will to live.
Play Cards Against Humanity, the fun new game that's taking the world by storm. The aim is simple. Just pick the card in your hand that best answers the chosen question card. What will I bring back in time to convince people that I'm a powerful wizard?
Stephen Hawking talking dirty?
Waterboarding.
Pictures of boobs.
Little Katie wins the first round. What do old people smell like?
Necrophilia.
William Shatner.
The violation of our most basic human rights.
Well done, Katie. 2 in a row. Instead of coal, Santa now gives the bad children...
elderly Japanese men.
No.
Horse meat.
Good answer, but it's not quite right.
Ethnic cleansing.
I like your thinking, kid, but I'll give you one more try. Instead of coal, Santa now gives the bad children...
Cards Against Humanity!
Everyone's a winner. Cards Against Humanity, the card game for all the family and horrible people. Cards Against Humanity is probably not strictly appropriate for those under the physical age of 18 or above the mental age of 14. Battery is not included because it's a bloody card game, dumbass. The Cards Against Humanity name is a trademark of Cards Against Humanity LLC and used here for parody purposes. More information at cardsagainsthumanity.com. No responsibility accepted for the loss of friends, life, dignity or bodily fluids.
And we're back, and we've got a lot of news for you this week. Starting with Diablo 3. Woo! All the geeks go mad. So, like, PC gamers have been waiting for this game for years and years and years. Like, a long time since Diablo 2. But there's been an awful lot of server issues in the first week, hasn't there?
Yeah, mate. They didn't expect the heavy user loads to hit their servers, man. And it's just like you're getting an error 37. Which
Sounds like an old Spectrum error, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, because I've been given a guest. They've been giving out these guest passes when you buy it.
Yeah.
So I think you get 2 guest passes, and you sort of palm them off onto your mates to kind of like draw more people into Diablo and kind of get them involved.
Yeah,
and,
get the community going.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what's happened is that you're getting a load of people downloading Diablo 3, trying to get onto the servers, and then you've got everyone on guest passes as well trying to get on. And they're just creating this massive kind of like logjam on all the servers, and just like basically like bringing down all their login servers.
Yeah, but we've had this excuse time and time again from developers recently, haven't we? That
it
unexpected.
It sort of happened with Trials, didn't it?
I mean, Trials I can kind of understand because you couldn't pre-order it, but Diablo 3 was pre-ordered by loads and loads of people, so they must have had some vague idea.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
how many servers to have? But.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird one because you wouldn't have thought that from Blizzard, like that. You know, they're normally shit hot on their
the
like,
netcode,
and all that kind of stuff. But then again, having said that, you know, they have been known for doing it with like StarCraft. They had like loads of problems with like login errors and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a bit weird.
As much as we think of them being a sort of untouchable studio, like I guess you're always going to have some kind of errors early days, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's one of those things where it gets airbrushed from history, doesn't it? And you're going to end up with like kind of, you know, a year down the line, no one's going to be thinking of the login errors at the beginning of the game. They're just They're just going to be talking about, you know, the things they bought on the in-game auction house and all that kind of shit.
By then, the same issues are going to have happened with every other big online game that comes this year as well. So
more than likely.
So it'll just get overtaken, won't it?
Yeah, totally. So what else we got in the news, man?
Well, we're going to go from Error 37 to Error at 38 Studios.
Nice.
Yeah, there's been a real shitstorm going down there. They're the makers of Kingdoms of Amalur, the
Reckoning
slashy RPG game. Now, they're in a bit of money trouble.
Right.
The Rhode Island government loaned them $75 million to relocate from their old premises in Massachusetts.
Right.
So the government were thinking it's going to bring jobs to the area and sort of prosperity to Rhode Island. But even though the game has sold well, according to Electronic Arts, the company are now $1.125 million behind in their payments to the government.
Nice.
So it's going wrong. The boss went and hand-delivered a check to the government.
Yeah.
To sort of try and sort it all out. This was all captured on camera as well. I think they had like TV footage in the States. Yeah. So he goes to hand deliver the check, but it was returned with not enough funds to cover it. So
basically,
well done, your check bounced.
Yeah, your check bounced. Brilliant. You've got to have some serious brass balls to do that when you like sort of turn up with a load of TV crews in tow. Like, okay, don't worry, guys, I'm paying in the check now. You know, go and pay in the check. He must have got in his car and then like driven as quickly as he could out of that fucking parking lot.
Yeah, definitely. You know? I bet he had the biggest shit-eating grin on his face as he sort of passed it over the counter.
Either that, or he was sweating profusely, hoping he wasn't being followed by any like news cameras.
Well, the thing is, it's like you know when you get like a dodgy boss in a 70s sitcom,
sort of pulling at his collar.
Yeah,
one of those.
The wages will be here at the end of the day. And they never are, blah, blah, blah.
But the thing is, I mean, from what I was reading is that basically, because they've defaulted on their payment, they're going to end up, that the IP is going to be turned over to essentially the public. So the people will own Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Bet they're well chuffed about that.
There'd be such a developer jam.
Yeah, exactly.
Like suddenly it goes free for everyone to use. There's going to be every developer in the world is going to make a Kingdoms of Amalur game.
Well, everyone in Massachusetts,
in Rhode Island, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. God damn, can you imagine? Like, everyone turns up and they've got like 14 different versions of the same game. Same name, loads of different versions. One's one's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. One's a top-down, shoot 'em up.
Yeah, first-person shooters, Kingdoms of Amalur, 2,000 million BC.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything. So that's a pretty serious story, but we've got something a bit lighter.
Yeah.
And that's our Prime Minister, David Cameron. He's been accused of being addicted to Fruit Ninja on the iPad.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? Like, in the halls of power, sitting there going, "I can slice the orange."
Yeah, well, last year he admitted to completing Angry Birds.
Yeah, he's got previous.
Yeah. He says that he works very hard and that he doesn't let the games get in the way. But one of his advisors was quoted as saying he spends a crazy, scary amount of time playing it. So,
can you imagine? Like, I've played Angry Birds. I've played Angry Birds. I've played Fruit Ninja. I wonder what else I should buy.
Yeah, what sort of thing would he go for? Do you reckon?
Oh, don't know.
Enter peasant.
You asked to see me, Prime Minister?
Ah, yes, Nigel. Just the chappie I've been looking for. The old Nigester. Nidgy. Now, I've completed Angry Birds and Fruit Ninja, and I hear this game Words with Friends is pretty popular. Do you think I'd like it?
Well, with all due respect, Prime Minister, one does require friends to play Words with Friends. And the last I heard, Rebecca Brooks had her iPad seized by Scotland Yard.
Oh, bugger. LOL.
So that's pretty much all the news for this week.
Yep.
So we've had another. Well, we've the usual Jace Stokes feature of the week.
Yes.
We're going back to that this week, as we did promise a couple of weeks ago. This week we're looking at PES versus FIFA and Battlefield series versus Call of Duty series.
Exactly.
We're going to go for the footballs first.
Yeah, let's go for the footballs.
Come on, footballs, score the goal.
Footballs. Yeah, no, it's so FIFA versus PES.
Where do you stand on this? You're more of a football game fan than me. I think.
Yeah, I'm the sports boy. I'm Sports Billy. Probably. I'll just start with PES.
Yep.
Because if I'm honest, going back years and years and years and years, PES was the de facto standard for football games. It was the thing that brought in decent passing, decent shooting mechanics. Really was technically, from a gameplay standpoint, the best football game you could pick up, and it was for years and years and years. FIFA. You've got to remember that even though FIFA now is a wonderful game, it was based on PES and what PES did. The mechanics from PES were so good that FIFA had to essentially up its game and really, look at what PES was doing and try and equal it, or even if not better it. But it was, I just used to love the PES games. I mean, the thing that always wound people up about the PES games was it was never ever fully licensed, because FIFA had the licenses, but there was like ways round of it of buying getting the modified kits and player names and stuff.
Could you download the save onto your
you could download the save onto your memory card, and there was ways around of doing it and stuff. And
did it start off? Was it like Insensible Soccer where you got like Pule Once and Giri Lonica?
It was like weird team names like West London Blues was Chelsea and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, just absolutely used to love PES, and but you've got to say now that FIFA has taken what PES has done and then just really refined it, really honed it down, and then turned it into giving it the presentation that PES really kind of has always lacked.
That's the thing. EA Sports had that down even when FIFA wasn't as good a game. The presentation was always spot on.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
the marriage of the two is
when you're looking at PES and you look at the banners in the stands and it says "Get goal" or "Get a goal" and all this kind of stuff, and the slightly stilted animations and kind of, it was weird. It was a very weird game because you kind of originally you would overlook all the kind of really weird English kind of stuff and the kind of really weird animations and stuff in PES, just because the actual playing of the game was so fantastic. But now you've got FIFA and it's doing all that, plus it's got great presentation and all the kits and the names, and you've got one set of commentators for like European matches and another set of commentators for domestic like Premier League matches. it's just taken it to that whole another level now. And
So where did PES go wrong back in, like, was it 06 where it started to sort of head downhill?
Well, yeah,
What went wrong with it?
they just hit a ceiling as far as I was concerned. They kind of got to a point where they'd done as much as they could with the passing, and they'd done as much as they could with the shooting to refine it, and they just hit a level where they thought, we're just tweaking this for tweaking's sake, and there doesn't seem to be any. We're not going any. We keep tweaking stuff, but it's not really changing anything now. It's so minute that it's almost inconceivable.
Yeah.
And then FIFA kind of, I think it was like FIFA 09 turned up, and then it did everything that PES was doing, but better. And then added like kind of Ultimate Team. I think it was 9 or maybe it was 10, but then they sort of started adding this Ultimate Team thing in, and just really honing, and then started really kind of building out from that basis that PES was kind of, and they couldn't keep up. They just couldn't keep up with the kind of, because it's only a small team doing, smallish team compared to the EA team doing FIFA. So it's like they just can't compete really, and it's such a shame because there is a bit of a charm to going back to an old PES game, but I don't know. The FIFA's just blowing it out of the water at the moment, and it's got to the point where I can't see anyone overtaking its dominance,
What, not Actua Soccer 4?
Yeah, exactly. So just remember, like back in the PlayStation days, the early PS1 days, you had Pro Evolution Soccer, you had Actua Soccer.
I loved Actua Soccer. I thought that played really well.
There was like but there was like so many different football games that you could pick up. There was even like ones that were done that were club specific. It was like the Man United football game.
Yeah,
and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they all came out that same year, didn't they? Like, was it Codemasters paid to have licenses for like 5 or 6 different clubs?
Yeah, exactly. And it was just
nuts.
like there were so many different football games you could pick up, and it's just like, but there was always FIFA there in the background, and PES sort of rose to the top because I remember it used to be a lot more arcadey, on the N. I remember playing it on the N64, being really arcadey and kind of quite, it was a lot more fun because like really random events would happen and stuff. But but like I say, getting back to actually talking about FIFA versus PES, like, even though I would love to say PES, invented it all, and FIFA's standing on the shoulders of giants, I think you've got to say now, with what they're doing with building out the FIFA games, they are the best football games in the world at the moment, and you really can't beat them.
They're also huge as well, aren't they? Like, they're just packed with modes now. Like,
yeah, totally.
All sorts of different experiences that you can get from the one game.
Yeah, and then that whole arena thing where you're getting achievements and building up your player in the kind of loading screens between the games and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't get that in PES. You just load up and you're in. It's like, they've just, like I said, they've just been beaten hands down in all areas. So for me, FIFA wins this one by a long stretch.
I'm going to have to go for Chris Kamara's Street Soccer on the PS1.
Fair enough. Each to their own.
I've never actually played it. I just saw it once in Asda for a £5, and I thought, like, that's got to be the best football game going.
Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable. He's gone with a rank outsider. Can't believe it.
Sadly, I think it's when he was a player, not a commentator.
I know, yeah, man. But I love Chris Kamara. He's flipping hilarious.
Oh, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, he's never looking at the play, and then when something does happen, he's like spinning around. He doesn't know whether to look at the camera, whether to look at the screen that he's got on his monitor. He doesn't know, he's too busy jumping up and down and being excited.
He reminds me of that guy that used to do Play School, Derek.
Yeah,
Derek Griffiths.
Derek Griffiths.
Yeah, he's the Derek Griffiths of football commentating.
Brilliant, nice. Right, so on to our next one. So FIFA's won that one hands down, right?
Yep.
So let's get on to...
this is the toughie, isn't it?
Well, yeah, COD versus Battlefield. Now, we're taking this as a series. So we're going to go back from, Battlefield from 1942...
Is that when they started making them?
No.
Wow. Oh, I get you. Yeah, sorry.
Not from the year 1942. I meant the game Battlefield 1942.
Yeah, it's like a bagatelle machine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's all like really like steampunk and... No, it's So yeah, we go back to basically back from Battlefield 1942 through to Vietnam, Battlefield Vietnam, all the way through to Battlefield 3 now.
Yep.
And then we're thinking about basically Call of Duty from Call of Duty 2.
I'd
Or
want to
would
go
you
back to
say-
Call of Duty 1.
All right, Call of Duty.
If I
1
need to give
then.
it a mention, because it's quite an interesting story of how it happened.
Right, so yeah, from Call of Duty 1 all the way through to Modern Warfare, like COD 4, and then all the way through to Modern Warfare 3. So we're taking into account that whole lineage. So Battlefield games, what are your sort of experiences with them, man?
My experiences with them are, I came to the series quite late. I'd played the Battlefield 2 on the PS2, but it was a really bad version. It was like a consoleized port.
Okay.
So that didn't really give me a feel for the series. When I really got into it big was Battlefield 1943, this generation. So I'm not like an old school PC player of it.
Oh, right, the XBLA releases, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
And that got me bang into like looking into 1942. Then I've gone back and played that since. So yeah, I've gone into it a weird route.
So you've always played it on the consoles?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because the way I got into Battlefield was basically through the PC side, and bought my first ever PC.
Yep.
And then first game I got for it was Battlefield 1942 because it had vehicles and like first person shooting.
Yeah.
And that just blew my mind that you could do that. You know, you could jump in a tank and then go off and attack someone, jump out of the tank and then like capture points and stuff. It was just like so mind blowing. So we had a group of guys and we used to play it like over we used to play it together. I know that. Definitely. We used to like play it on, we would get a server, like I had a mate who was like well into, he was like an IT, IT professional, and he would like set up a server and, we'd jump onto his server and that. And yeah, so I've been in it from like day one. I think not totally day one, because I think there was a game before that Battlefield 1942 kind of came out of.
I was literally just trying to look that up as you were saying it.
Yeah, man.
Sort of proto Battlefield, wasn't it?
Yeah. But
although I don't think it had multiplayer, but it was all the aspects of Battlefield 1942 in a single player game. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was it. And so like we got right into that, and then I've been hooked by Battlefield ever since. I've had like I really see now. A lot of people I know who've played it really didn't like Battlefield Vietnam, but I really liked it. I preferred it over 1942. Just because it had like licensed Vietnam music in it, and it had like proximity music with the you'd be driving along in your little Jeep, and someone would be blaring out some like old rock classic, and you just hear them rocket past, and you get a bit of bit of music as someone would fly past, and
just a bit more life.
A bit more life to it, and kind of it had that whole sort of jungle setting, so you were kind of. It just felt a bit more like sort of predatory, and kind of you were going through the jungle, and I really liked it. But apparently it got critically caned.
People seem to like it now. I mean, in the run up to the Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam DLC, people seem to be sort of like quite. Maybe they're looking through rose-tinted glasses, but they seem to be sort of quite hyped because they love the old game. So
yeah. I mean, I really like Battlefield Vietnam.
Did you play the one on Bad Company 2?
I did, but only because the problem was I got it and then found out Battlefield 3 was coming out, and I just got so hooked into that coming out that I never really went back to Bad Company 2 to play it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I mean, I'm going all the way through it. The only Battlefield game I've not played is the future one, the Battlefield. I can't remember, is it 2142?
21. Yes, something like that. Yeah.
21 something. And the only one I did play, because I don't like the idea of future tech, like modern future tech, as it were. I just don't like that idea. It's like the new Black Ops. I just don't like the idea that they've set it in the future, in the near future, where everything's like just it doesn't fit well with me. I don't like that kind of future tech.
Yeah,
aesthetic,
not one thing or the other.
I mean, I'd rather it be like Syndicate, where it's so far in the future it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or like Halo, where it's like future fantasy,
sort of cartoony almost.
Cartoony robots.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that it's kind of future tech grounded in reality. It really puts me off. So
especially as they're so based in the sort of military. I don't know if realism is the word, but the sort of all of the accoutrements of military life are in there, and it's just funny to see that adapted, as you say, to a future experience. I don't know how experience.
It's just really putting me off. So, I know for a fact that I'm like, well, let's get onto Call of Duty, but basically, like, I'm now getting to the point where I'm getting bored of Call of Duty games. Now, admittedly, like that is because once every month I have a group of friends and we all meet up and have a LAN party playing Call of Duty and Battlefield. So I am battering those games like
day in, day out. Well, not day in, day out. Month in, month out.
Month in, month out. So it's, not only am I playing it at home on my Xbox, I'm then going away and playing it, for 12 hours straight in a LAN party. So, I could be a bit of an outlier here. So it's not,
Do you reckon, like, if I asked around the room at your LAN party,
yeah,
what would the majority answer to this question be, do you think?
Right. Which is what? Which is better, Battlefield or Call of Duty?
Yeah.
I think what you'd find is that most people... See, this is on the PC.
Yeah.
They would say Call of Duty because it's a quicker game and it's easier to play. There's not... the problem with Battlefield on the PC is that the vehicles really do get in the way. Once you jump into a tank, or the other one is the helicopters. Once you get into a helicopter and you've got a gunner, that's it. You can basically destroy anyone, any party of people in a game. You can just harass people to the point where it's not fun anymore. At least with the Call of Duty games, you can kind of, in a LAN setting, you can set enough parameters in a game that you can make your own game up and make it fun. And stop people spamming weapons or spamming, certain vehicle. Well, there's no vehicles in Call of Duty, but you get the idea. You can limit the, you can set your own rules and kind of, limit people down to keep the experience fun.
Yeah, kind of more conducive to a party type game.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally. So let's talk about Call of Duty then, man. So your first experience with Call of Duty.
My first experience with it was Call of Duty 1 on the PC.
All right.
I was actually quite looking forward to it at the time because it's at the time it was a couple of Medal of Honor developers left EA because they wanted to make a slightly more realistic war experience rather than the one-man army beats all.
Yeah.
They thought we're going to take this slightly more seriously. So that's how Call of Duty 1 came about. And I bloody loved that game at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had tanks and stuff in it as well. So it wasn't. I think it was more like the Battlefield experience, strangely, back then.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's where I started with it. And then I played a couple of the, Call of Duty 2, the big red one or something.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a real Call of Duty game, was it? Well, wasn't an Infinity Ward game at the time. So
no, exactly. We've been playing Call of Duty 2 on the Max at work recently.
Yeah.
So someone brought that in, and that's been an eye-opening experience. Because for me, playing Call of Duty games, I actually came into Call of Duty games with COD4 because it looked so bloody stunning.
Yeah.
It didn't look like anything else that had ever come out.
Oh, it raised the bar
totally,
something
man.
else, that game. Yeah.
Totally. I mean, that game has got to be held up as one of the kind of, up there with like Half-Life 2 and things like that, where they're just so game-changing, it's ridiculous.
Well, it did everything else so well as well, though. The net code and stuff.
Well, yeah, the net code adding you got to remember that's where perks came from.
Yeah. You
can't find a first-person shooter game without perks anymore.
Yeah, it sort of invented a genre of its own almost, didn't it?
Yeah, totally, man. But so I started with that, and then we've been playing that in lunchtimes at work, and then someone came in and brought in Call of Duty 2 on the Max, and we've been playing that, and that's just been like, oh my god. Going back to it from Call of Duty 4 is like, wow.
It's a lot slower, isn't it? And the guns feel a bit like pea shooters.
Wow, we used to play games like this. But I can say how it's fun though. But yeah, so for me, like starting from Call of Duty Modern Warfare and then going on is my kind of Call of Duty history, really.
Yeah.
But like I say, got so into Call of Duty 4 that we started up a LAN party just so that we could all get together and play it, So that's how heavily I was into Call of Duty 4 at the time, and still am.
I guess you had to do that with COD 4 though, because the PC server side was proper sketchy, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, to a point. I mean, it wasn't brilliant, but like I say, it was one of the last few games to allow first-person shooters to allow LAN play.
Yeah,
and I'm very into playing like games in a room with other people. You know, if I've got the choice between playing over Xbox Live or couch co-op, I'd rather play it couch co-op because it's so much more fun.
Oh, of course, yeah, and it sort of evokes those old sort of N64 and PS1 days, doesn't it?
And then getting like 16 people in a room, all teamed up playing Call of Duty is just there's nothing better. All shouting and screaming at each other. It's just so much fun. It's unbelievable. But like the problem is that with Call of Duty, you're playing that, and then you get Modern Warfare 2, which raises the bar again and makes the games more ridiculous. It's where Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is where the games just got silly. It raised the bar and then went into like Hollywood blockbuster territory.
Yeah.
And now they can't go back. And it's like it's getting more and more ridiculous. And now looking at like the Black Ops games and like this new Black Ops where they're going like sort of more future tech and stuff. I've had 5 odd years of Call of Duty games every year, and I've got burnt out with them.
The explosion at the end of Modern Warfare 4 will actually blow up your PC.
Yeah, exactly. It will just fry.
It has to be that. That's the only place they can take it now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they've blown everything else up.
But yeah, it's just like I've got burnt out with it now.
Yeah.
And I was discussing this with a guy on Twitter the other day, and it was basically like, I said, look, I just put on Twitter, like, I've just seen the Call of Duty Black Ops trailer, and that's it. I'm out. I'm not buying another Call of Duty now. It's gone too far. It's got too silly, and I'm burnt out with it. And the guy was, oh, but it looks amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, yes, you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me this looks amazing. It's got this amazing feature and that amazing feature and blah, 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 blah. But they're not doing anything game-changing now. They're not doing what they did from Call of Duty 2, like Call of Duty 2 or 3 to Call of Duty 4. That was a massive massive leap. They need to do that again. Not just tack on another thing. They need to do something so game-changingly amazing that's going to make me sit up and go, fucking hell, Call of Duty games again. Wow. It's just, they seem to just be regurgitating the same old Hollywood blockbuster things with a few little bits of shiny on it to make it just palatable for, people to go, oh, it's got this shiny thing. That's slightly better than the shiny thing they put on the last one. They're not going, here's this amazing new massive experience that's going to like blow your brains out.
Yeah, I felt that Black Ops did that for me.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I was kind of burnt out on the Modern Warfare series, at least.
No.
Black Ops to me was a real turnaround for the Call of Duty games. It just didn't feel like a COD game.
It's just a different skin, man, on the same thing. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. For me personally, I just feel that that they go into a different area and they do a different storytelling device, but it's still multiplayer perks. It's still single player, up to 11 adrenaline. At least with Battlefield, they're giving you squad systems. They're giving you interesting interactions between the different squad members. It forces you to work as a group. Admittedly, the single player shit, but but they were trying in that to give you slightly more of a. I can't really explain the word. Slightly more of a kinetic feel about stuff.
Yeah.
And they were trying something quite radical, whereas with Call of Duty, it's got caught in its own. It's got caught in its own system, and it's now just starting to repeat itself.
Well, also Activision believe their own hype, don't they? To an extent that they don't feel they have to do anything more. They can just Treyarch 1 year, Infinity Ward the next year, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they are breaking that now because obviously with the whole Infinity Ward and Treyarch and I've gone the new.
Where do you?
There's new Sledgehammer, is it, that are working on?
It is, yeah, Sledgehammer.
Yeah, so
where do you stand on the Treyarch Infinity Ward argument? I know it's like an argument within an argument, but
in what way? Which developer better?
Yeah, well, a lot of people seem to have a lot of hate for Treyarch, which I can kind of understand from some of their earlier games. But do you think that's sort of less taken into consideration now?
It's really not an argument in as much as Infinity Ward were always the lead team, and Treyarch were always picking up their scraps.
Oh, they're always the B team, yeah.
But but they did very well with the scraps that they were given.
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where, you've got a Infinity Ward doing an amazing job, but if you're the B team, you're never going to get the respect for doing a good job, no matter what. But you can't say they've done a bad job because they haven't. I mean, I think all their games have grossed as much, if not more, than the Infinity Ward games. So, coming from that respect, you've got to say, wow, as an underdog developer, they've done an amazing job, really.
Especially as they are trying to make their own mark, I think, with the Black Ops series, aren't they?
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, now it's become a series. That this is not going to be Modern Warfare. It's something else. So
yeah. I mean, I'm sure it would be great. It's just I won't be involved in it. I've had enough.
Yeah,
had enough now. But looking back on this whole kind of one versus the other, and even though I love Battlefield to bits and I've been there from the beginning, and Battlefield 2 is just a stunning multiplayer game, to rival Call of Duty 4 for me. But even though I love Battlefield now, and even though I think that going into the future, I think Battlefield 3 and its multiplayer will be what people look at for their multiplayer games, I think you've got to say that Call of Duty, for what it's done and how it's revolutionised, you wouldn't have Battlefield 3 without Call of Duty 4. The way it's revolutionised perk systems, the way it's revolutionised multiplayer in general, made it even transcend, first-person shooters and become its own sport,
Almost an industry of its own.
Yeah, exactly. It's bringing in casual players that would never play anything, like that ever before. You've got guys who wouldn't even think to play games playing Call of Duty on Xbox Live with their mates, And
often it's the only game they will actually have. It's like a Call of Duty box rather than a games console.
Totally. So, I mean, you've got to say that Call of Duty is the winner here by leaps and bounds, just because it was so game-changingly, in different ways, it's been so game-changingly different through its different iterations, whereas Battlefield has been consistently brilliant throughout, but it's never had that kind of one or two great innovations that have pushed it above and beyond.
Yeah, fair point. I'll go with you on Call of Duty, but Battlefield 1943 is my favourite out of all of those games.
Mate, like I said, I love Battlefield 3. I think Battlefield 3 is an amazing game, and if you don't have it, you should have it, because it is absolutely the way it forces you to work as a team and stops people from lone wolfing.
Yeah,
is brilliant. But yeah. But I always think back to my days playing Call of Duty 4 and just being so blown away by it, and it being so fresh and different that you just can't. I can't ever say that it isn't. Like I say, I would put it up there in the kind of Half-Life 2 mold for games that have changed the way games have been developed.
Yeah, in that case, we have ourselves a winner.
We have a winner.
Yeah, we do. So we're another step closer to actually finishing Jay Stokes' email.
I think we have finished it, man. I think that's the last one, isn't it?
Is it? I'm sure there's one more.
So what we should... No, that's it, man. That's it. We're done. We are done. But what we're going to have to do is get on to Jace.
Yeah.
And get him to give us a little email and see what he thinks see what he makes of what we've...
of our decisions, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See
what marks out of 10.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
We had a question on Twitter, actually.
Yep.
From Andrew Montague, at the Funky Gibbon on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Now, he bought himself Max Payne 3, and he really couldn't get into it the first couple of days he had it.
Right.
It looks like he's got into the game now and is enjoying it. But he said if he trades it in, any suggestions as to what he should get for his Xbox?
Oh, okay.
Now, we had a little chat over this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We were trying to think of what kind of box releases are about at the moment, and then we thought, well, there hasn't really been anything that we'd majorly recommend on the retail front.
Not like a big AAA game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we thought is join the rest of us playing some download games, trade it in for some Xbox points, get yourself, say, Trials, Walking Dead, Fez.
Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah, you could get a whole bunch of games, and
it's because the thing is at the moment, for some reason, there's just been a massive amount of really, really good download games come out, and a real dearth of kind of box titles. It's really weird. You know, I mean, other than say,
It's as
The
weird as it
Witcher,
is normal, though, because it's exactly what you'd expect in a time where
in a
like,
quiet time.
the economy's in a bit of a worsening crisis, and they're cheaper games to make for the developers, B, they're cheaper for the consumer, and there's not as much risk for anyone involved, is there? So,
Well, yeah, totally, man. I mean, it makes sense.
And
but
in a downloadable future, I think, fingers crossed, they can keep up the quality of stuff like that.
yeah, man. Hopefully, it's a bit of a trend. You never know.
Yeah. Defo.
You know, a bit of a downloadable games in the first preloaded in the front half of the year, and then big box retail games at the end of the year.
Yeah, that'd be a nice way for it to work, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
And then you have your like summer of arcade leading you up to the big games of the autumn.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of an E3, and then bang, off you go with the big releases.
So once again, we give another like slightly off-topic answer to someone's question.
One day we will answer a question and stay on topic.
Yeah.
One day.
But yeah, no, I think that's our honest answer, that we'd
But
get
yeah,
ourselves some
if
Microsoft
I was you,
points.
I'd take your Max Payne 3. Though that does look wicked, and I will be picking it up at some point. But take your Max Payne 3, trade it in for some points, get yourself involved in like I say, Fez or Trials of Evolution, and definitely The Walking Dead, because that game is amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, man.
Although
So
you'd have to, if you're getting that on the Xbox, you'd have to save some points because you can't get a season pass.
oh, right, okay, I didn't know that. So you can only get
yes.
the season pass on
It's
the PlayStation, yeah?
Yes, PlayStation 3 exclusive to season pass, just because of the way that XBLA titles work, something to do with the Microsoft rules, means that they can't have it as a season pass.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Right, so is that all the emails and Twitters?
We've got a. Should we save it till next week? Because we've been talking for ages, haven't we?
Yep.
Right, so if anyone else has sent us a question, you'll get that answered on the next show. You can get in touch with us if you want to ask one before then. You can find us on Twitter at @TheAIBots, or you can email @theaibots.com. That's all the ways to get in touch, isn't it? Smoke
mate.
signals.
Yeah, carrier pigeon.
Yep,
You know.
whatever you like. Get in touch with us. Ask us any questions. And just give us feedback on the show if you want. We'd love to know how we're doing.
Sweet.
So come and say hi.
Nice one. Right, let's get out of here, boy.
Let's do that. Okay,
Right.
and I'll speak to you next week.
Speak to you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.